Exercise 9a is drawing a roof, and I'm going to draw this roof at 1:100, which my drawing is already set to. And this is the manual way of drawing, but you can use this for anything as much as this exercise is for a roof. Anytime you need to do angle commands and bits and pieces, this should give you a pretty good idea. I'm just going to go to the rectangle command, and I'm going to draw it with S off, S for snap off, 3 rectangles, all overlapping. Okay, so that is the perimeter of my house. I will now use the trim union and trim these 3 rectangles together, which gives me a polygon as the perimeter. I'll change my colour to red and my line style to, say, centre line. I'm just going to use the parallel command and just draw a line out to show the eaves around my perimeter of my house. And now I'm going to use the angle command. That's set to 45 degrees. S for snap off, because the angle finds the end of your lines for you. And I'm just going to bring in some lines for the hips and the valleys. You can see there's a few lines here which are quite close together. I'll explain that in a moment. And 2 more lines and we're done. With this, there's a few hips, one here, one to the right, and the bottom one, which we can trim straight away. So using the trim corner command, I'm going to trim these lines. And what I need to do now is go to my line angle command and draw my first ridge in. And this moves down until it hits the first hip or valley, which is this one here. And now I'm going to go back to my trim corner and trim this off. I could also put the ridges on off these 2 hip ends as well. But rather than choose my command, to repeat a draw command, the F4 key on your keyboard will repeat the draw command. So I've just gone F4 and it's reselected my draw. If I go F3, you can see it's reselected the trim corner. Now if you have a keyboard with F lock on, you'll need to turn on the F lock. So F4, draw the line coming down, just draw these 2 lines coming across for the moment and zoom into where we are. This is the line we've just drawn, and with F3 that trims to the first point it comes to, which is this valley. F4 again, and now I'm going to draw the next ridge which runs across. This ridge would be incorrect for it to go straight down because this roof slope here would be running the wrong way. So it goes at 90 degrees to the fall of the roof. Click F3, trim, F4, this line will come up, F3. Now I'm going to trim these 2 and these 2 lines, and we can see that the last little gap. If you want to check whether this is all going to work right, rather than the angle command, I'm going to go to the single line, E for endpoint, and draw a single line across. What I can do now is select this line and see in the top whether it's 45 degrees. If it was something like 42 or 43 or 45 degrees 40 minutes, you would know that you've drawn something wrong on the roof. Zoom out from here and there is my roof. If you had a gable at one end, well then you could just extend your ridge through, P for perpendicular, and delete these 2 lines. If this overhung by only a few millimetres, again we could just offset this one side holding down the control key and then trim it all up with E for endpoint. We've got to trim the ridge, just trim back and trim down again, and that's done. If you have a Dutch gable that's going in, the best way to draw a Dutch gable is to use the angle command draw a horizontal line. Usually we have a set distance for these. I'll just see what 2 meters looks like. 2000. There's my offset. There's an overhang of this of 450. That might be a bit rich. We'll try 250 millimeters, and the offset coming back. We don't need this line anymore. Delete, and now we can trim the sides, trim the ridge through, trim this back to the left hand hip, and then trim the hip onto the back of the gable, and there we have the change to the roof to show a Dutch gable.